We're going to talk with that guy right there, Neil Davis, about the Kiss Cancer Goodbye fundraiser down in Florida. And then he's got a big announcement today, but you don't want to miss this. And then after that, we're going to chill out and we're going to talk about this bad boy today on Podcast Rock City Live.
Hey, Cooney, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City. And with me this week is Sonny Hollywood Pony.
How do you like the shirt? It's our new shirt.
I think that t-shirt looks wonderful. We're going to talk to everybody about that. Right down there is the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Casada.
Yo, what's happening? Good to see a couple of you.
So brutal. And there, right down there in the bottom left corner, at least on my screen, the only man brave enough to wear a pink Kiss shirt tonight. No, I'm kidding. It's good. Right there is Neil Davis. How are you doing, Neil?
Good. It's nice to be on the show again.
Absolutely, man. The last time you were on, we were promoting Creatures Fest. We had a wonderful time at that. It went way better for us, and I'm imagining let's be fair. When you're running an event like that, I'm sure you were stressed out 24 hours a day until it was time not to be stressed out. But it went great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we've got great memories about that. It was a wonderful event. You know, there's three things that stick in my mind distinctly having to do with what we're doing right now. And with Creatures Fest, that's when I was on the show. Your show, I think, is in March of 22. And Joey and I started talking, and right afterward, I said, send me a message. And I had this idea about doing an Unplugged show. And in 24 hours, Joey was coming to Nashville to be in the Unplugged band, and which turned out, you know, the weekend was full of highlights, and probably everybody has different feelings about it all. I remember walking out when Unplugged started, because, you know, that was kind of my whole life for 6-8 months. And you're just nervous. You're worried. You know, what's going to happen. You know, there was bad weather that was planned. There was just, you don't know what. And when you guys started playing the first song, I just said, this is it. This everything we wanted to happen. It's happening, and it's going to work. And so I remember that. And then the last thing I remember is right when it was over, Bruce had finished his last show, and, you know, I'm worn out. I don't know how much sleep I'd gotten the last week, a couple of hours, and he walked up and said, just kind of shook my hands. Man, that was great. He goes, you know, can you come? Can I buy you a drink in the bar? And we went there and had a drink, and I had a drink. Then I went up there and passed out for the thing. But that's the last thing I remembered. And Joey, you don't even remember it, but it was really, really kind of meaningful for me. Just kind of, you know, you said some really nice words to me, and it was a great way to kind of put my head in my pillow hearing that from somebody, you know, that was so intimately involved with it all.
Well, that's
Neil,
awesome.
Neil, you got a drink from his cheap ass? He didn't buy anybody else any drinks?
Well, I didn't say he paid for it. I just said he said come over. I think he said Sonny's got a tab, so come on, let's get a drink.
I did. I put it on Pooney's tab. But listen, Neil, what better memories can you have? The first memory is of me, and the last memory. That's perfect.
Oh, that's nightmares right there.
Oh my God. All right. So we're going to talk to Neil here about the fundraiser that he has going on down in Florida. So in order to do that, we have to get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
Okay, so before we get to Neil, I want you guys to know that I have been working very hard with Ed from clicktees.com to get a whole new page of Podcast Rock City merch out there for you guys. And I wanted you guys to check it out. We have all kinds of new stuff added. We have men's t-shirts and women's t-shirts. We have a brand new logo. We have stickers. We have pillows. We have tumblers. We have coffee cups. And we have pint glasses now. And we have Podcast Rock City masks for those of you that are living in 2 years ago still, which some of you might be. But if you want to check it out, the one of the cool things about Click Tee Shop is they have tons of stuff that is okay. It's Kiss related, but it doesn't, but it doesn't say Kiss on it. So
it's
you
Kiss
guys
inspired.
It's Kiss inspired. That's a better way. I like that. So you could get a t-shirt. You could get t-shirts, socks, pillows. Now they have fine art. So go check that out.
Sorry.
That's okay. Name that tune, Sonny.
Those are from Click Tee.
Oh,
those
really?
4 pictures up there, yeah. I don't think they're available anymore.
Oh, well, damn. Let's put them up for bids. So if you guys get a chance, go check out clicktees.com and pick up the new Podcast Rock City t-shirt. I'm going to try to have a new logo every 3 months. So every 3 months, there'll be a cool new shirt that you can get. And we're probably going to have a couple that are inspired by catchphrases on the show. And maybe there'll be one with Sonny on it that says, "You son of a bitch," or something like that. But we're going to get into it. It'll be a lot of fun. So, all right. So that was that. Let's talk to Neil. Neil, tell everybody what you got going on.
Well, sure. So, but real quickly on your announcement, I think you should offer a pink t-shirt for sale and then wear it down in Sarasota in October. So that'd be great.
All right. I'm going to wear a pink Podcast Rock City shirt in Sarasota. Mark my words. I'll look like a pink nightmare. A big
Good. Well, and we'll get a picture together for that one. So
absolutely.
So let me talk about Kiss Cancer Goodbye. So kind of going back a little bit of time, we mentioned Creatures Fest, which was in May of 22. The summer went by, and I was in Sarasota, Florida, where I live. I know some people involved with American Cancer Society, and we were talking about fundraising, and they asked me if I would be a part of a fundraising program. It's called Men Wear Pink, and it's where they get business people in the communities, each community, to raise a certain amount of money, and then collectively it all adds towards the fight for awareness, treatment, everything that's bad and sad about cancer. And they asked each one of us to try to raise $2,500. And typically what people do is you call your friends up, say, "Hey, can you give me some money? Give me some money." I took a little different stance because I love putting on events, and particularly Kiss themed events. And I said, instead of asking friends for money, I'm going to put on a Kiss themed event. So Kiss Cancer Goodbye, the version 1 was actually held last fall in Nashville, Tennessee. It was an online event only. We went to SIR Studios, rented out the big studios, and we took the stage. We broke it into 2 halves. One half, we had it built up like an old Johnny Carson set with couches for interviews, and the other half was instruments, all acoustics. And we had, Ryan and Jeremy and Phil from Ace's band. Todd Kearns was there. Anthony from Toro Toro, a few other people, and we played some really cool Kiss acoustic songs. And then every time they played a few songs, and we came over, and then we would auction items off. And We had some really great things. Bruce Kulick donated a guitar, a custom guitar from his brother Bob that was painted by an artist that had designs for all the different kind of periods of Bob's career. And Peter Criss donated many items for us to auction. We also got a drum head autographed by everybody from KISS and a few other things. We ended up raising over $40,000 for the
Holy
American
crap.
Cancer Society.
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, we were really, really proud of it. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So the music was great. We had a great online audience, and happy with the success. So that was 2022. We get into this year, and the Cancer Society started talking about, well, we certainly loved what you did, and we were hoping to do $2,500. And when I say we, it's a whole team of people. So if I say I mean it's always meant to be plural. So started talking about doing it again, and the kind of way my brain works is that if we're going to do it, I don't want to just repeat it, and how can we push ourselves and do something different and bigger, better, try to raise more money. One thing, reflecting on the event last year, is while we raised a lot of money, I don't know if we did as good of a job as we could have, talking about education and awareness about breast cancer, in particular male breast cancer, which all of us I think probably we aren't often in conversations talking amongst men about male breast cancer, but it's real. It kills men, and so we wanted to try to do something that could raise more money and do more awareness about the risk of cancers, how to detect it, how to treat it as well. So the concept of Kiss Cancer Goodbye 2 came up, and we decided we were going to do that. And then again, I think everything, we just took a piece of paper and we said, well, we love the name, and aside from that, let's kind of start from the beginning. And last year it was all live stream. The only people in the studio were the artists and the production people, and that worked great for 2022. We said if we really want to get awareness, if we really want to raise more money, we need to make this event not just a live stream, but also in person. So we decided that we would do an in-person event as well, so people could come and see all this great music that was being played. And so then we said, okay, where we're going to have it. And I live in Florida, but I love going to Nashville. It's kind of my home away from home. But it's always nice having the home field advantage. So we decided to move the event back to Florida, and reminiscent of, I'd put on an event in 2020 called Kissmas Masquerade in Sarasota, and it's nice having in your hometown because we have so many resources here. So we decided to move it back to Sarasota. There's a great new venue that just opened up about 8 months ago, a performing arts center, and we were able to put it on there. And we said, well, let's move it to Sarasota, and then started saying, well, what's this event going to look like? And again, before it was one evening, Saturday night from 8 to 11 p.m. And with the concept, if that was worked last year, then what can we do more this year? So we thought to ourselves, if we're going to have people come to the event, and we didn't want just people in my local area, we wanted to make enough event that people across the country, across the globe, if you will, would say that that's worthy of traveling to Florida for an event. There's no cruise this year, so there's a lot of people that are used to taking a trip that time of year that are homebound in October.
Right.
So
let me
we said,
that too. Neil doesn't do anything small. I mean, he's underplaying a lot of the stuff that he's doing. Neil, I know the way your brain thinks. As soon as you have an idea, the idea is sparked, and then it just grows. And I think it's probably grows until the day of the event. So Neil's brain is always moving. Nothing Neil does is small. Go ahead, Neil.
Well, thank you. I mean, for better or worse, you're right. It's always changing, and about the events changing. Absolutely, Joey. I mean, getting back, I'll get back to specifically Kiss Cancer Goodbye. But in general, when I do these events, I've said this many times, and I'll say it many more times. I'm just like you guys and everybody watching, listening. I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of the band. And, I play some music myself. I put on events, but I'm no different than anybody else, and kind of, why I love this band and have since I was a kid. And when we put on these events, the concept is, let's be selfish as fans. What do we want? What do we want to give ourselves? What do we want for Christmas, this year? So we're picking our own presents, if you will. So it's always, well, why can't we try to do this? Why can't we do that? Or somebody will do this, and up to the day of every event, opportunities come up, and if there's a chance to do something, different, bigger, better, and as a fan that we love it, and I could use myself as a litmus test, I said let's do it. And we're in a unique time right now where we as the fans can really in the driving seat and try to kind of I don't want to say demand, but try to create things that are really, really unique to us and what we want. And I'm not knocking Live Nation or anything like that as well, but they're not going to give us Creatures Fest. They're not going to give us Kiss Cancer Goodbye. They're not going to give us these other events as well. If we want those type of events, we do it ourselves. And I've accepted that challenge to do that on behalf of all of us as fans. So deviate a little bit. So the idea, go back to Kiss Cancer Goodbye. So we said, okay, we started off, okay, we had one night. Well, what if we let's do 2 nights, and let's make it a couple of evenings of music. And we said, well, okay, great. You have a night of music, another night of music. What are you going to do in between it as well? So we really tried to make it an all-encompassing event. And I when I do these, I've never said that I'm a concert promoter, and I'm not a concert promoter. I put on events, kind of Kiss lifestyle events. So I want to give everybody an opportunity when they come to these things, because it's not a matter you go to something, you see it, and you leave. This is where you go and you see people that you've known for a long time, whether it's in person or virtually or both. And it's an opportunity for us all to get together. Every one of us can get together, and we've got things to talk about right away. There's never an awkward conversation moment with other Kiss fans, because we've got this incredible similarity in what's of interest to us, and we can just strike up a question about anything. A current tour, an old tour, an album, one of the members, anything like that. I mean, there's just so many things that we all enjoy talking to each other about. And so I always try to give an opportunity where it's a social event as much as anything else. So we decided on the concept, and then it was really starting to fill in the blanks. What's it going to look like, and what makes it unique. And again, I mentioned some events that I've been involved with in the past. So proud of every one of them, but I don't ever try to just recreate the exact same thing again. Everything should be a little bit different, and it's not a matter what's bigger or better. They're all unique in their own ways, and they all achieve certain things that I think again are special for Kiss fans as well. So that's really kind of how the framework of the event started, and then the fun began, trying to fill in all the blanks in between.
So now, talking about the blanks, you've got how many different performances this time?
I'm pausing because that literally was changing an hour ago. So the phone call before this. So what is
right? At least fill us in on the lineup as of right
now.
Yeah, things are. I know. Again, like I said before, everything is growing with Neil at all times. So as of this moment, give us the 2-day lineup. Again, what Neil was trying to say before is these events, and you guys know, with anyone who went to Creatures Fest, not only were the bands and the acts incredible, but it was all the hangs in between, during, waiting online. You just saw everyone and anyone you knew, and you knew them, whether it was from online or a podcast or a show or just the Kiss community coming together. So that's what I love about Neil's events too. It's not just, oh, it's a nighttime show, here it is, blah, 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 playing live, and here's their set. It's a full day or 2-day or 3-day event that starts in the daytime with some performances, with a little hang, and then nighttime performances, and then a hang at the end of the night, and then, rinse and repeat the next day. So give us the lineup as of right now, Neil, and then give us the big surprise that you're announcing tonight.
Are we sure we want to do that tonight, or we want to save it for some other time?
Are we saving it to
I'm kidding. I'm kidding with you. So, this would be great, Joey. So, one thing that's a little different twist on this is, with one exception, unlike other ones, this isn't made up of a lot of bands. It's not like this band A, B, C, D, and it really is. It's a collection of a lot of musicians to come together. And Joey, you've been a part of these conversations. Is that musicians who I think everybody knows each other, but haven't necessarily been a band together or played together, and we're creating these unique experiences where you get different musicians doing different things. And again, that was by design because I thought it would be, really cool to get different people, that you might recognize the people, but seeing in a different setting with different types of people and how that might play out as well. So that's not exclusively true, but that's one of the things that we want to do was kind of create some bands, if you will. So Joey, you're playing some things that we probably need to. Maybe we should have some voting contests. Think of names for these bands as well, and so forth. So, so Friday night, this location we're having it's a really neat complex. It's a 5-acre parcel. They just built a brand new performing arts center on it, and just adjacent, right next to it, a big open area with a lot of these oak trees and a big tree line canopy as well. So really a pretty setting. So we kind of said, if you remember at Creatures Fest, we had what we called Expo City, which was the adjacent building, which we did the outdoor or the daytime activities in it. This one, we're calling it Party in the Park, and our outdoor activities will be outside under this canopy of trees. We're having an outdoor stage built, and so we're going to start the event Friday. We're going to have a kind of Kiss cocktail party about, start at 4:30 outside, get everybody an opportunity again to say hello, everybody give a hug, how you been, talk. And then at about 6 p.m., we're going to do something that I will say I do pretty consistently, and it's just because I love it, is we're going to start off with a Kiss acoustic show. And but we're doing the twist. Last year we created MTV Unplugged, from beginning to end, in exact order, and I loved it. I love MTV Unplugged. Probably most of us watching this feel the same way, and it went over great. Joey, you drummed in it, obviously, so you're intimately aware of it all, and it was great. But thinking about Unplugged was, do we want to do MTV Unplugged again right away? And if we did, not that would be bad, but I said, why don't we look at the catalog and look at some songs that haven't been played in an acoustic Unplugged setting, and wonder if they would, and wonder if you could do them. And just because they haven't, maybe they could, they just haven't. So the set list, I would say, is at least 60% songs that I've never seen played in a formal acoustic setting as well. And I think, Joey, you saw the first draft of the acoustic set. It's things that you just wouldn't expect acoustically. And
some great surprises. Yeah, if they all pan out, some great surprises.
Yeah, I mean, there's some harder songs that you wouldn't think so. Your bandmate Charlie in Quarantine, who's just a guitar virtuoso. You have two amazing guitarists in your band. You're really, between he and Joe. But I sent them to him and asked him to see if he could transpose them into an acoustic setting. And we talked a few days ago, and it was interesting. He said, the problem was some of the tapping, so, a Bruce song, doesn't necessarily go on the acoustic guitar, but he's going to reimagine the lead and kind of a Spanish guitar type of style as well.
Nice.
And he kind of played a little bit. I go, that's just fantastic. Again, just something different, but kind of keeping the spirit of Kiss songs, but reimagining what some of them would sound like acoustically. So I really am excited about this acoustic set, and that's going to be outdoors. And it's the middle of October in Florida, and barring we don't have any of these crazy storms, middle of October, Florida is just delightful. It's warm, but not hot like it is hot right now. But we're in this tree canopy. It's real pleasant to be outside. It's a dry month, so we don't typically have a lot of rain unless we have some type of tropical storm as well. So, not putting any of those negative thoughts in anyone's mind. It should be a delightful time to do a sunset performance of unplugged music. And as Joey would attest, it's really going to be a powerful first set. So we finish that, and then we move inside and for start of the electric shows. Now, when I think about 2023, we all know, Kiss is wrapping up their tour at the end of this year, their touring career. I feel like there's a lot of nostalgia in the air. It's a time for a kind of reflection on things that have been important to us over, 50 years, however long we've been fans. And so I really kind of felt that way, that it's a good time to look back and celebrate some specific things over the years that maybe deserve to be celebrated, but always weren't. And I started off with an idea I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's recreating an entire album that from beginning to end, and as opposed to a compilation of different albums. So we're kicking it off, and we're doing something. We're recreating the entire Lick It Up album, and as Kiss fans, we're all going to have different opinions about which albums are our favorites. But I don't think anybody would say that Kiss was on fire musically, vocally, when they got into the 80s. Whether it's that they had matured as musicians, whether it's because of other 80s bands pushing them as well, it was just hard. It was just really great music, and challenging music, and a lot more complexity to some of the things they'd had in the 70s. But when you think about Lick It Up, they have the name of the song that's you can still hear it on the radio. It's been a mainstay in the Kiss tours. But aside from that, you don't really hear anything. Well, not really. They haven't played anything really from it since the Lick It Up tour. And there's so many great songs on it. Starting off with Exciter, all the way to The Eighth Day. Dance All Over Your Face, Young and Wasted. I mean, these are great songs.
So many songs we've never heard before. Sure.
Have any of y'all ever heard any kind of touring band play on The Eighth Day live? I've never heard of anybody.
No.
And again, that's what makes these events exciting. It's not just going to see so and so's band playing in Ohio. These are unique events. Starting with the Unplugged set, we're going to do a unique Unplugged show, jumping right into the nighttime electric show, recreating the full Lick It Up record. What's going to happen after that, Neil?
Yeah, so we played the entire Lick It Up album, and then we're going to have the encore. It's going to be a couple of deep cuts from Creatures of the Night, and again, not War Machine, not I Love It Loud. Those are great songs, but we can hear them play with Kiss. So we're trying to take a majority of what you hear, things you might not normally hear. So not that it's better than other things, but just things we haven't had the chance to hear for whatever reasons. And going to as a fan, I want to hear the entire Lick It Up album played one time. And I know I can't count on anyone else giving it to us, so we're going to do it ourselves. So we're going to do the entire Lick It Up album. We're going to dedicate that show to Eric Carr because, again, it's important to fuse into everything we say. This is a fundraiser to raise money about cancer and to raise awareness about cancer. And the band lost an incredible musician to cancer, so we're going to dedicate that first evening really to Eric Carr. And obviously that was a powerful album that he was on. So we're going to do that. We've got Todd Kearns, Charlie from your band is playing in it as well. He's an amazing guitarist, and I think he's someone who can replicate the guitar styles of Vinnie Vincent at that time. So it's just a real powerhouse band. We take a little break, and then we're going into our headlining band that evening, and sticking with the called the Unplugged area as well. We're really, really excited to have Joey and his bandmates Quarantine are going to come over and play a killer set. They headlined our expo show at Creatures Fest, blew everybody away, and the band's so busy, everybody's doing different things. So they play sporadically. I think they had a run of some great shows in the Midwest last month, and I was really, really happy when I reached out to PJ and talked about schedules, because I think the week after this, Fozzy goes on tour, so he wasn't available.
Right.
And
For anyone who
everybody's
doesn't, Neil, for anyone who doesn't know who Quarantine is, who's the singer of Quarantine? Because some people might not know.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I make assumptions everybody does, but you're right. Some people not. Chris Jericho from wrestling fame, but I think at this point, after 20 plus years, he's proved he's as important of a rock musician as he is a wrestler. Well, he's the lead singer of it, and then just a powerhouse band. Joey, why don't you talk about your bandmates in there?
Yeah, just an incredible band. I mean, obviously Chris is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but people don't know that he can sing, not only sing his ass off, but sing these insane 80s Paul Stanley songs like nobody else. So Quarantine does a full 80s Kiss show, unmasked Kiss show from Animalized through Revenge, and it's just a high energy, what you would think of those 80s Kiss songs, stuff that you've never heard before. We got Charlie and Joe, shredders on guitar, PJ on bass. It's just going to be a super fun event. Always anything Jericho does, just like Neil, is bigger than life. So when Jericho put this Quarantine band together, it was just a little bit for fun, and then all of a sudden he said, no, and he took it to the next level. And it became, it became a really big deal. They actually had a higher charting single with a song from Crazy Nights than anything from Crazy Nights. And I think Jericho still digs Paul Stanley about that. But anyway, that's going to be an insane show. If you love Kiss songs that you've never heard before, starting with that Unplugged show Friday during the afternoon, heading into the full Lick It Up record that you've really never heard almost any of it, and then ending the night with Chris Jericho and Quarantine, it's just going to be a night of rarities. Like Neil said it earlier today too, that, a lot of people miss the cruise this year. There's no cruise this year. Everyone loves the cruise because we get Bruce's band, we get all this other stuff that's going on, that all these tracks that you've never heard before. And that's really become, from what I've heard, I've never been on a cruise, but that's what people look forward to on the cruise more than anything. It's all those rarities, and even the stuff that Kiss throws into the set, the rarities. This Kiss Cancer Goodbye event is not, I don't want to say taking the place of the cruise this year, but it's really a nice placeholder now that there's no cruise. So Friday night's going to end with a bang with Quarantine. There's going to be a lot of drinking, partying afterwards, right, Neil?
Yeah, that's right. And Joey, I skipped over something that I think is important. I do, and I'd like to go back to the Unplugged set. And as we said, we're doing a lot of rarities. We're doing some different things. One thing that, again, we want to do something a little bit different. And one of the singers, the Unplugged's typically four players, and they're all dudes, if they're playing. And that's consistently been what it's been. And, Friday night, kind of informally, Friday night, we're doing it female breast cancer awareness, and Saturday night's male breast cancer awareness. So Friday night's a little bit more focus on the pink, and then blue's the color for male breast cancer awareness. So we thought it would be really fun, different, and again, a unique twist to bring in somebody to play primarily the Paul parts. And we're bringing in Mariah Formica from the band Plush. Don't know her. She was on the Kiss cruise. Plush was last year. She is a powerhouse singer. She's 4'11", and she was on the show The Voice a few years ago, and loves Kiss. Like when the Plush plays, they incorporate some Kiss songs into their set. Just has this phenomenal range, this phenomenal voice, and Paul, when he sang Unplugged, just sounded so great. I really felt like we had to have somebody that caliber. But I thought, how kind of different and unique, but still, like, I think, exciting for us as fans to do is to mix it up a little bit and have her up on stage performing and singing a lot of the songs that Paul would typically play. So I think that's a unique spin on it all. And, if you don't know her, you might be going, that sounds a little bit different to me. When you hear her sing, I would encourage you to Google Plush and see a couple of your videos. And you're going to say, I get it. I see it right away. Or you can wait till then. Either way, I know you're going to be blown away with what she's doing as well.
Incredible.
Yeah. So we're really fortunate to have her to be part of that as well. So we finish up Friday night, and we have all the celebrating, and hopefully we're all can go back and get a little night's sleep, because the next day we wake up and we come back and it's what I call party in the park. And this campus that this facility is on, I told you, it's 5-acre parcel, has a big park. We're having benches and lunch tables all set out around the stage. There's a parking lot over the side. We're having all these food trucks coming in with different types of food that you can go get as well. And then we're going to have a series of what I think is really, really exciting music. And going back to what I said earlier is that, this is a year, I think, to pay homage to things that were important to us, to look back, to celebrate, to salute things. And with that was the mindset of when we started putting together what Saturday would look like. And we're going to kick it off with a salute to a artist that we didn't lose them from cancer, but we did lose this person, and they were an important person in the history of Kiss. And that's a tribute to the music of Bob Kulick. And so that will come out. We'll play, if you're not aware, Bob was the guitarist, was involved with Kiss Alive 2, the album Side 4, the studio songs, which were, just really powerful songs. He also played on Paul Stanley's 78 solo album. He did the 4 original songs on Killers, which, similar to Lick It Up, just doesn't get the recognition it should. I mean, some of that music is just great, right. And it just was over. It was originally released, I think, just in Europe, and then it worked its way over. And just, I think it'll be, fantastic. Certainly for me, there'll be some songs that I haven't heard played live from Killers as well. Bob did a few other things that while we'll do a slight deviation from Kiss, but it was just too important work that Bob was involved with. He wrote, if anyone has kids, you probably spent some time, well, maybe not even kids, watching SpongeBob SquarePants. He wrote one of the biggest songs, Sweet Victory, for SpongeBob SquarePants, and it's actually a really catchy song. He and Bruce actually played on the original Meatloaf tours as well. And we thought it would be we lost Meatloaf this past year. Thought it'd be appropriate maybe to have a Meatloaf song in there as well, since Bob was so involved with that as well. So that'll be the tribute to Bob Kulick. Again, great music we don't normally get to hear, and also I think a respectful way to pay tribute to a member of the Kiss family that
great
we've lost.
Kickoff for Saturday, a fun way to start the day. Again, a nice outside performance, right?
Yeah, outdoor performance. So then I'm gonna that's how we're gonna kick it off. I'm gonna go to how we're gonna end Party in the Park and work my way back down for a reason. So we're gonna before we end Party in the Park and end the day, we're gonna do a special salute to the music of Peter Criss. And that's really going to reflect all the different songs that he was involved with singing, from the first album, all the way up to the last one he's involved with. So you're going to hear a whole spectrum of maybe some from his solo albums as well. And, again, some main, Hooligan, all the different songs that you don't normally get to hear. And I think that we all quite a bit. So I think that'd be a great to Peter is a male breast cancer survivor, and I thought it was important to do that. He's a big fan. I don't think I know people are going to ask. I don't think Peter's going to be at this event, but he's supporting. I've talked to them a couple times. I'm actually going to be up north and see them in a few weeks. He's going to provide a lot of cool things for us to help raise money as well. But Peter doesn't play much anymore. We got him out at Creatures Fest, but he doesn't do it often as well. But we've got his full backing and support, and we wanted to do a set of music to kind of honor the music because it's great, and because of him being a breast cancer survivor as well. Prior to that, we're going to have a comedy show. I don't know if some of y'all saw that at Creatures Fest, and it's also been on the Kiss Cruise. It's been on Monsters of Rock. They call it. There's two backlines and punchlines or Kiss comedy. And Courtney Dold, Joey, you're friends with Courtney as well.
Courtney
just
Cronin,
hilarious.
Spencer,
Courtney
Stanley
Cronin.
Simmons, Creed, Biden,
May,
Clinton Cook, right?
Yeah, something like exactly. So so she's going to do a comedy show, but what she does, which is really neat, guys, is that she could go out and do a set and it'd be hilarious, it'd be a lot of fun. But what she's kind of crafted is she goes out and gets rock stars and she works with them and has them come up, people that you're used to seeing, with a guitar in their hand or drumsticks or a microphone, and gets them on stage doing comedy. And at Creatures Fest, we had Zach Throne and Todd Kearns did it. They killed it.
they killed it.
Job.
It was wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, you saw it. So it's really cool. We got this took some arm twisting. But Steve Brown, from Trickster, and PJ, from Trickster and Quarantine, will be premiering their first stand-up comedy acts at Kiss Cancer.
I have a feeling I know who might be heckling in the audience.
Yes, exactly.
Let me ask, is this the same Steve Brown that drew more people to the whiskey with his band
Nice.
than ZO2 did?
You better watch it right now, Joe.
What?
That is
wow.
pure rumors. Steve and PJ would never draw more than me. You know that. Anyway,
Okay.
Neil, continue. So PJ and
I
Steve
will.
are going to do a ridiculous comedy set. They're going to rag on Sonny Pooney. They're going to talk about Kiss. Talk to me.
And just a slight deviation, that joke Joe made was actually one we were joking about right before the show started. And what's really fun about this is Steve, I talk to almost every day. Joe, everyone is involved with this. We all collaborate and talk about how to make a really cool event, how to raise money as well. And a lot of people that you get to know, and I got to know over last year. It's really, the reward for me is kind of having a chance to reconnect with so many great guys and spend time with them all. Steve Brown's just been wonderful helping me as Joey, as you, and everybody else has as well. So Courtney's coming over. We're going to do the comedy. So it'll end with Peter Criss. It will right before that will be the comedy, and then before comedy and after Bob Kulick, we've got a brand new set of music which we didn't announce last week. and we want to save it. And I'm actually going to be getting on doing a live announcement media after this, telling everybody as well. But we're going to do a special salute to the music of Ace Frehley, and a set of music, similar to Peter Criss, where probably half of it will be from Frehley's comment. I'm lucky because since I have a hand in picking out the set list, I get to pick out some of the songs. And I've always loved "Do Ya." It's an ELO song, but I just thought Ace did it fantastic, and a lot of songs from his solo career, and then a lot of the songs that he did with Kiss as well. I'd love to hear "Torpedo Girl," "Talk to Me," and some of those songs that I think we all love and like, but don't get played too often. I remember Ace played "Torpedo Girl" on the Kiss Cruise 2018. Yeah. And maybe played a little bit, but hadn't played it for quite a while. It's a great song. "Talk to Me" is a really fun song as well.
No, Neil, that's a cool announcement that you're doing. This new announcement is you're going to do a full Ace tribute, but that's not really the bigger announcement. What's the biggest?
Well, that's a big announcement. I mean, if it was the only announcement, I'd be proud of it, and I'd be smiling, and I think there's probably a lot of people smiling at. But what I was really happy was I thought, when we play all these different Ace songs, we've got some great musicians that are playing as well, and a lot of them are gonna come out because everybody loves Ace, everybody loves Peter, and they say, hey, I'd love to come over and play a couple songs as well. So we're going to interlace some different musicians as well, so which will be really fun. But probably the most unique person that's going to join us for the tribute to Ace Frehley is, in fact, that Ace Frehley is going to join us for the Ace Frehley set as well for a couple songs. He's gonna come in and do a cameo and join us to play a couple of songs during that set as well. So we're really excited about it. Yeah,
that's amazing news.
And Joe, I thank you. And when we did this, we could have said, hey, Ace, let's have your band come in and play, and that would be amazing, it'd be great. But we did that at Creatures Fest, and he's touring a lot right now. And I thought, how do we do something a little bit different? I mean, just if you have Ace anywhere, it's a win. So but we talked to him, and Ace was actually great about this. We said, we just want to do something different, and have him, instead of having him come on and do one set, what if we kind of interlaced him throughout the weekend? And in fact, we didn't share Joey, as he's actually going to join us on Unplugged as well. And I'll tell everybody that. I didn't tell everybody last year that it was a surprise, and so I can't surprise you. I will tell you he's going to do it. What I will tell you is that nobody will guess the song he's going to play, and you're going to be completely blown away with it as well. And we're really excited about it. And again, the next day when we're going to have all these artists that, so many guitarists were influenced by Ace Frehley. I mean, literally about everybody was, to some degree, coming out and playing all these different songs that you don't normally hear, and then have Ace come out and join us for songs, in this beautiful park setting, surrounded by friends and raising money for cancer. Can you dream of a better scenario than that? And I certainly can, and I hope everybody feels the same way.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. I love your events. I all day long, I've been talking to my girlfriend Karen about it. I'm like, are you going to come? She's like, well, it depends on whether or not we're moving into a house, but you can absolutely go. And, but I'm going to definitely be there. I cannot wait for this because you do not disappoint. Even in between all the little things that you had set up, it was a party. I mean, at one point I was sitting in it wasn't at the bar. It was like in a corner of the restaurant with Sonny and all the other podcasters that we knew that were there. And we were having a great time. And all of a sudden Rudy Sarzo comes walking over, and Sonny is like, Rudy!
We scared the hell out of him.
And we all did a picture with Rudy Sarzo. And,
Poor Rudy.
And as we're sitting there, I'm walking by the bar, and Joey's standing there talking with Chris Jericho. And Sonny finally got a chance to meet Chris Jericho, Sonny is like a foot taller than Chris. Who the fuck is Sonny Pooney? And then and then I'm coming around another corner, and Peter's staying there. He's talking to some people. I go to another corner, and I can hear Vinnie Vincent doing his sound check. I'm like, it's mind-boggling. It's like it's a little piece of Kiss heaven.
It's really
yeah.
Neil, Neil is incredible at promoting these events, but he doesn't, he's so busy during these events. I don't even think he sees what we see, Joe. So, obviously all these, great artists and great songs that we're going to hear throughout the weekend. It's almost like that's the soundtrack of the weekend, because the weekend really is about all of us KISS fans getting together where we don't have the opportunity to a lot, and hang out and mingle and just love every minute and look forward to the next event and the next artist that's going on and the next song that's going on. So as well as Neil is promoting this as, these crazy artists and these crazy, obviously Ace Frehley appearing throughout the weekend, playing with all these different artists and playing all these rare tracks. That is a great part of it. But the stuff that we don't really sell as much is the hang. The KISS fan hang is it's something that you can't get anywhere else. So obviously, so that's Neil, right, so day 2, it starts with the Bob Kulick tribute. We go into the Ace Frehley tribute with Ace appearing, of course.
Yep.
We move into the Peter Criss tribute.
Nope.
What do we
KISS
got
comedy?
From there?
KISS. No, we have after Ace, we have KISS comedy, and then we have the Peter Criss salute. And just Joey, to echo what you said, is kind of what I'd said earlier. I'm not I don't put on concerts. I put on events for all of us. And KISS fans, none of us agree on anything, it seems like at times, except for our love for KISS. And so some of the things that I might say, hey, I'd like to hear, Torpedo Girl versus something else. We might debate that, but I think we all say, hey, if we have an opportunity to experience some things around, our common friends that we normally don't get, that's a highlight, the highlight of the year for me. And because I am a fan, and so these things are as special for me as anybody else. So we finish up the Peter Criss show around 4 o'clock. Kind of timeouts is outside. Everybody's jumping and dancing, and say, everybody go home, take a shower, clean up, for an hour. And so go back and clean up, and we come back at about 6 p.m. And again, a little more cocktail party, socializing, and then we're going back to really, I think some saluting some of important milestones or parts of KISS history in our past. We're going to dedicate the first show to Bill Aucoin, who we did lose to cancer, prostate cancer, and we're going to dig way back, and we're going to do a special salute to the KISS originals. And I don't know when all of you guys became KISS fans. I was in the 70s. And I didn't have enough money to buy the 3 albums, so this came out. So I actually owned the originals back then. And so when I was looking at albums, the challenge with the first 3 albums is that KISS does play so many off those albums on their tour today. And so if you take any one of them, you don't have enough set. You can't do one album without just really replicating the End of the Road tour. So the originals was a great opportunity to go back to the early days, the early KISS, the things that hooked us all in. And there's so many great songs on this.
So many songs that they don't do ever.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the albums right now. All the way, Mainline, Room Service,
Getaway,
Ladies in Wait.
Two-Timer, yeah,
absolutely.
Love Her All I Can. I mean, some great music. So, I think, we're gonna sample off those 3 albums, and the set list is pretty complete. I know Ryan and Jeremy from Ace's band are going to be involved with that set, and we're going to do a throwback to where it all started off, the first 3 albums as well. But you're not going to hear. What are the songs that they play? We're not going to hear Black Diamond on that one. We're not going to hear Rock and Roll All Night, because we hear those regularly anyways. We're going to hear some other songs that I think as fans that we all love. So we're going to do that, and after that we'll have a little bit of break. In between these shows, where bands, typically you have to turn the stage over, and there's kind of this dead time. What we're doing then is we're flipping over and we're doing these auctions of items, and we're going to do this. This event's for people in person, and we're going to stream it for people as well, so they can see it. And the idea is that we're going to have some really cool things that Peter Criss, Bruce, other people have donated to us. Dave Ryan is giving me. He's got an actual drum head that was played on the Alive 3 tour. We're going to have that, an autographed one as well. Peter Corey just donated one of those KISS bicycles as well. So some really cool things as well to raise money for charity as well. And once we do that and the set's turned over, we have the final show of the night. And I think that and let me back up. It's my understanding that we might have a special, when we talk about the original 3 musicians as well, we have one of those 3 in the house. So it's certainly, I think it'd probably be appropriate to have Ace come up and play something from the original.
Nice.
I think that's a layup. So, you think about that. We have 3 distinct shows: Friday night, Saturday during the day, and Saturday night. And if you get to see Ace perform in all 3 of those, pretty incredible. And all 3 of those shows are unique shows that really none of us have ever seen a show like any one of those before as well. So
Right.
so I think it's very, very cool. So the final show tonight is really special for a lot of reasons. Going this the anniversary from
We
the
losing him
80s.
a little.
Neil, we're losing you a little bit with
Yeah, we're losing your audio a little bit, Neil.
It might be your headphones. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna
Yep. So while he's getting that fixed, right? So obviously, it's a Friday and Saturday event. You're not going to want to miss either day because, like Neil just mentioned, Ace is going to be playing both days sporadically with different bands, rare tracks that you've never heard, not only ever live before, but definitely ever that Ace has played. So, after that originals tribute, where Neil was about to lead into.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Joey?
Yeah, you're great. You're great.
Yeah. So Nick, we did do an event in Vegas last New Year's Eve with Bruce Kulick. So Vegas is a great place, and I would imagine that we'll probably end up there one day doing something as well. So we're going to end it out. So with again, it's hard to get Kiss fans to agree on a lot of things, but during the Revenge era, Kiss was just on hitting on all cylinders. They sounded great. The music was great. That tour was fantastic. They played songs from the 70s. They played songs from the 80s. It was a powerful, powerful time for the band. They played it well, and they used that to introduce Kiss Alive 3. So we decided that what a great way to end Kiss Cancer Goodbye, and we would recreate the entire Kiss Alive 3 show, just like it was played, like if you saw it in 1992. And so we're going to play as well. And Joey, I think you're playing in that show as well, aren't you? So
yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you what happened was I wanted to do this idea because I thought, for a lot of reasons, what I just said and some other reasons, I just think that album is so in a catalog of great music that just continues to move me. That's one of them that always seems to rise to the top when I'm listening to, when I'm out doing things as well. So we were going to do that anyways, and I called Bruce and said, hey, I just want to tell you that I'm doing this. I had already looked at his touring schedule. He's touring a lot with Grand Funk Railroad. The Friday night before, he's going to be out in Vegas playing with Grand Funk Railroad, and Vegas, from where we are, is the other side of the country, and it's not always. Again, that's what he does right now. So I called him and told him I wanted to do the Bob Kulick thing, which I want to make sure that I want his endorsement on that, and he did that wholeheartedly. And I told him that we're going to do a Live 3, and initially, and I said, I know you're touring, and this one probably be tough to get to, but I just want to make sure you're okay with it. And initially, it was like, well, who's going to play lead guitar on it? So I had to get his blessing on who the lead guitarist would be. And we kept talking about it. I mean, he's one of the artists that I've got a great rapport with and talk to regularly. And we were talking about schedules, and we found one flight Saturday morning, a direct flight out of Las Vegas into Florida. And it really, if you kind of said, what would be the perfect flight time to have them leave Vegas, get to Florida, because you lose 3 hours, coming over. So you literally don't have a moment to spare. And we talked about it, and I want to give him a lot of credit because I wasn't going to push him. I like him, but he's busy with other things as well. He said, to me, he said, Neil, if you wouldn't mind if Lisa, my wife, came, I would like to try to get, I'd like to get on that flight and fly out and play for everybody as well. And, it would be a late night and be tired. It really helped me. And if you don't know Lisa is fantastic. There's times you'd rather have Lisa come than Bruce. He's so nice. So I said, Yeah. So, but Bruce is very unassuming about those things, and he said, if you could see having her come as well, and I almost thought he was joking at first, because of course we'd like to have her. He said, we'll finish the show up. We have some things I've done, and I'll just rush home, get to bed, and then get up and get to the airport and get out there Saturday. So we were really, really fortunate. I shared last week that, Bruce is flying out, and he will perform a live 3 in its entirety with Joey and the rest of the band as well. And, anybody who's seen, Bruce play on the cruise or any other events as well, I mean, he's just on fire when he plays. And what a powerhouse set to play a live 3. It'll be a great way to wrap up what I think will be an incredibly memorable weekend for KISS fans.
This is going to be awesome. When do tickets go on sale?
Yeah. So I'm torn on this, Joe, because I could put them on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I might. But I've done events. I remember in 2019 when I was doing the cruise fest, the pre-cruise party. We had the tickets ready. We test baited them. Bought a bunch of tickets ourselves, put them on sale, and it crashed the next day. I mean, people aren't happy about that because they think they're losing things. It was just a mess. And it seems like every event ticketing is a problem with it all. So the challenge is I'm taking my wife and we're going scuba diving out of the country on Thursday morning. And I'm leery about putting tickets on sale than going out of the country.
Right.
Service, and I'm underwater as well. So I'm trying to get my partners, Brian Bell, Dale Walters, see what their comfort level is about handling some of these things. But I'm kind of on the hands-on guy with these things. So I just got to make a decision. I know people want tickets. I keep getting messages about it. If I can get it out by Tuesday, then I might go ahead and get them out, because that'll give me 48 hours in case anything comes. It always does. Inevitably you test it no matter what. Something comes up, with computers and software. So it's either going to be Tuesday or it'll be back, a week from today when I get back from the diving trip. So
yeah, the first email went out today. The first email. So if you went to Creatures Fest, you have an email in your box that says, "Hey, watch out for this. I got this going on. If you haven't heard about it."
Yeah, I sent that.
So that was cool.
I sent that out earlier today.
And Neil, too, if you can preface this too, this is going to be a limited ticket event. It's not going to be as big as Creatures Fest. No. So when these tickets do go on sale, get ready to gobble them up, because they're going to go very quick. The venue is smaller than at Creatures Fest, right, Neil? So there's going to be a limited run on tickets. So please be on the lookout. Neil is pretty great with social media and making announcements. So he'll be giving everyone a heads up. Yep. The event is October 13th and 14th, right, Neil?
That's correct. That's right.
Friday and Saturday. Yep. So, we still have a lot of time, and this event will 100% sell out. We know that. So please, when they go on sale, be ready. No one wants to miss out on this. It's a 2-day event where you're going to see things that you've never seen before, hear things you've never seen before, get to hang out with the lovely Joe Polo from Podcast Rock City. Woo-doo. We're trying to get that disgusting animal, Sonny Pooney, there. I'll be there. Steve Brown will be there. There'll be Ace Frehley will be there. Bruce Kulick will be there. There's going to be so much going on, Neil. Everyone will not want to miss this.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so now that we've gotten that big news, huge news out of the way, I'm going to lay in bed tonight going, October needs to get here. I'm ready to do this.
Nobody needs to hear about you laying in bed, dude. Move on.
Wait, is Karen laying in bed with you at the time?
Oh, wait. Then I do want to hear about it. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. Listen, before we move on to the topic of the week, I want to mention Bruno. Bruno is our new producer, and they're running everything for us. They got it going on. Thank you, Bruno.
Where's this Bruno? I don't know Bruno.
Hey. Oh. And that's why the comments are coming up and everything's running, and I'm not having to push any buttons. Watch this. Let's go ahead and get to the topic of the week.
Podcast Rock City topic of the week.
So, obviously part of the Kiss Cancer Goodbye thing is a live 3. Neil was showing it just a little while ago. His is better than mine because it's autographed by Bruce. Now I'm gonna have to bring it with me and go.
So quickly,
Dude.
Neil, I know you're going to make it a live announcement on your own page. Do you have to run, or
You have
you
to
okay
run,
to
yeah.
stay?
I do. I told Joey that I had planned to do a live announcement about Ace at 8 o'clock. But I appreciate you guys so much, everything you do, that I wanted to do a pre-announcement on your show.
Thank
but
you.
I shared. I'm going to jump off and I'm going to announce, like everyone's hearing it for the first time, except all of your fans have already heard it right now. That Ace will be there. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Peace,
Thanks, Neil.
Peace,
Soon,
Neil.
Neil.
Be safe.
Yeah, so
okay.
obviously great stuff from Neil. Obviously we ran long with the announcement. He wanted to go through the whole event again, but the big announcement was Ace Frehley is going to be at Kiss Cancer Goodbye 2. He's going to be playing not only on Friday, but once on Friday, twice on Saturday at the least. You never know what else, Neil is full of surprises. Some other stuff might be coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for that. But
Yeah.
the end of the weekend will be the topic of the week this week, Alive 3.
Absolutely.
And I heard that a drummer is required. That was in the contract. So there will be a drummer there at all times.
Yes.
Because supposedly he can do anything if he's got a drummer.
There
Yes.
won't be any mishaps like at Creatures Fest. We won't go into that, but there will be drummers on hand at all times, including myself, who will be I will be very busy that week. I'm doing the Unplugged set. I'm doing the full set with Chris Jericho in Quarantine, and then I'm doing the set with Bruce and Joe McGinnis and Todd Kearns, doing the full recreation of Alive 3, which is the topic of the week.
Alive 3. All right, so let's talk about that. I'm very excited. I've already sent Joey probably 15 messages going, dude, I'm so excited. I'm going to get to see you play so many times. This is going to be really cool. Alive 3 is great. Alive 3 is a really great album. I wanted to talk about it since it's part of the it's going to be recreated at the fundraiser. And one thing that I wanted to mention was, okay, so we all know that this was recorded during Revenge, right? And one of the things that always cracks me up, Kiss has this thing that they do, and every time they do something, they try to outdo it, right? So I wanted to show you guys, not that you guys have never seen it before, but the tour book for Revenge. It's so huge. I can't even get. It's like, why? Okay. Anyway, that always drove me crazy.
I think it's because it's almost like buying 11x17s that you can frame and put up if you want to. They're like basically selling you a poster book.
Right, and it's not as big as Crazy Nights, right?
No, this is bigger than Crazy Nights.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure. All right, I got it right here. Hold on, I'm just gonna.
Oh, good Lord!
I knew I can get them up.
You know
Yeah.
Crazy
it's
Nights
about
is bigger.
Maybe by a couple centimeters. Wow. But I don't know, why does this feel so large? That's what she said. I'm just gonna move on.
Good heavens.
Okay, so let's talk about the record. One of the things that always, you hear the complaints is that when in between the Paul banter, it doesn't really sound live, or some people say that, but it never really bothered me. I always just love it. I treat it like a live record. I don't think that we've ever really talked about this at any kind of length. We're going to do the best that we can. But Kiss Alive 3, I love I like that they have a nice back cover. I love that it is gatefold. And I was telling Sonny, right here is where they have like a family tree. Sonny, and you said what about that family tree?
That family tree is what got me into some of those bands, because there's no wiki, right? And I'm getting into Kiss and music in general in 84. So by the time that comes out at 93, I'm making a little bit of money. I got a little bit of liquid money, and I'm like, what's that band? What's that band? What's that band? And by the time I saw Badlands, Eric Singer wasn't in. So I didn't know Eric Singer was in Badlands.
Right.
How would I know? Right? So
I don't know what
tree-
that family tree is.
Huh?
I've never seen that before. Is that in the CD as well, or just the?
Yeah.
It's in the city.
Oh, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So it basically shows where all the bands came from, and it
Yeah.
all comes right down to Kiss.
Do you have Sonny, post a picture of that on the website, on our Facebook page if you can. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So all right. So the first time you heard this, Joey, what did you think?
I mean, obviously, I'm a Kiss fanatic, so whatever it is, especially with the name Alive on it, I'm going to love it. And I loved it. I loved it right from the get-go. I mean, the production is incredible. Eddie Kramer's back. It's obviously way different than Alive 1 and Alive 2, right? Production-wise especially, playing-wise especially. We're not as fast as we were in the Eric Carr, Asylum era, but we're still high energy Kiss. Some of the stuff is faster than usual, but it's, they're tighter than ever. Paul is at his peak, early 90s here. The song choices are great. You have a nice mix of older Kiss. You got most of the staples. A couple of them are missing, like a Love Gun and stuff like that. But you got a great mix of some of the revenge songs from that just were released a year prior. So I loved it right off the bat.
Sonny, what did you think the first time you heard this?
I loved it right off the bat because I didn't like a lot of the Kiss Army. They were out, so it's like they didn't even hear it. Right, I was still in, so I loved it right from the start. I was probably at the height of the Kiss fandom for me. I just remember going, man, Eric is killing it on drums. Like he had nobody told him he's got to calm down. Let's put it that way.
No.
I think somebody just told him, you can do whatever you want as long as it's in time. We don't care.
Right.
And he literally does that.
Yeah, Eric, musicians, when they listen to Eric, they know he has a very heavy feat. His kick drum is it's solid and it's like right in your face. And I think Paul mentioned, you feel it in your wazoo, and it's just one of those performances where you really had your first shot at hearing Eric Singer live if you didn't have a chance to go to the Revenge tour. And the crazy part about this is it's such a good record. The set list is amazing. I don't have to read it to you guys. You all know it. But it's really amazing because as musicians and fans, we look at it and go, they're so solid. But really, it's the end of Kiss as we know it right here. It's really them coming to a spot and they go, well, look, we know that we have you in the band. Bruce, we've had you in the band this long. Eric, we just had you join the band. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go back to those guys over there and we're going to grab them and we're going to do something new, and that to me, I don't think it was a mistake to do that. Obviously it was not. But also you got to sit back and go, damn, we just got this lineup. It's killer.
But it's great. But it's great that they had this to I know they released Carnival after this, but it's great that they did get to capture this time period with this record, and let's go back quickly, if you don't mind, to Eric Singer. Obviously I talk a lot about Eric now, phoning it in sometimes, but Eric back then, and I was first introduced to Eric. I saw the Paul Stanley solo tour. He blew my mind. Then I saw the Revenge tour before the record even came out during that club tour. I saw them at L'Amour in Brooklyn. And, it was maybe my second favorite, great, best concert that I've ever been to. It was just phenomenal. And Sonny hit it on the head. Eric is going crazy during these years. He's playing a little tiny bit less than he did on the Paul Stanley solo tour. If you ever hear any of those bootlegs, it's fucking insane. But on the Revenge tour, which obviously when this was recorded, and especially now that I'm starting to learn this for that Bruce set, it's very, very difficult stuff. Some of the stuff Eric is doing, and Joe hit it right on the head. Eric's feet are insane. Some of the stuff he's doing, obviously in Detroit Rock City, and Creatures of the Night and all these songs where he's adding double bass and Unholy, and some of the stuff that he's doing is so incredible. I'm going to do it as best as I can. I'm not Eric, obviously. I feel like I play a little more like Eric Carr, so I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit and do a little bit of both. But I'm going to try to recreate Eric Singer on a Live 3 as best as I can.
Yeah, think about this. If there's no Live 3 and possibly no Unplugged, the next live album you get is Symphony. We'd all be pissed. We're already pissed that there wasn't a live album for Animalized Live Uncensored.
Yep.
We'd be really pissed if they
my
had not
God.
chronicled this band.
You know what? I apologize for this because I know that I've only done this maybe 3 times. I want to grab something and show you guys something that happened when Kiss Alive 3 came out. But what I want you guys to talk about, I'm going to go away for maybe 10 seconds. What about this?
Confidential, yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah, Confidential's awesome.
Okay, talk about Confidential for a second. I'll be right back. I want to show you guys something cool.
I loved
Don't make
those
fun of
Kiss
me.
videos. I
Me
loved
too.
them so much. They were my history lessons.
Loved every one of them that they put out were incredible. Confidential and Kiss My Ass are right next to each other. Where
Yeah.
were they in relation to the release of Alive 3, Sonny? Do you remember?
I think they were right afterwards. I
Right
think.
after. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think so. Because it goes Uncensored, then Exposed, right? And then Confidential, right?
Video release wise, I think so.
Yeah.
I know they had that Crazy Nights video release in between.
Oh, yeah, in the middle. But it just had
Scambatti's on here
videos, though.
somewhere. He's the police with all this bullshit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Scambatti, give us the release dates. Where is Alive 3 in relation to Confidential and then Kiss My Ass? Because if I'm correct, Confidential and Kiss My Ass both had a lot of Alive 3 footage, right?
Yeah, I
On
think
them,
so.
like from the Revenge
remember
tour.
right.
A lot of live stuff from those. Yeah.
Man, I haven't watched those in forever. I need to watch them again.
Me too. You know what?
I actually have a VCR.
Me
So
too.
I
I
can
have
watch
it right. It's so funny you said that because I was about to start digging into them this week because, like I said, I'm learning Alive 3, and I want to see some visual of Eric playing those parts to see what he's doing rather than extreme close-up. Yes, that too. Great call, McMurphy.
Okay, so I'm very sorry it took a little longer than I thought. I had to find it. So I went in to buy Kiss Alive 3, and when I did, the guy behind the counter said, "Hey, man, how big of a Kiss fan are you?" And I said, "I'm a huge Kiss fan." And he goes, I don't remember exactly what I had to give him. It was money. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't. Shut up.
I thought he was going to be like my virginity or something.
Joe.
No, let's just follow. Oh, have mercy.
Did he make you go behind the counter? All the way behind?
No.
Did anyone in this store see you behind the counter?
I remember him handing me a drink, and then I remember waking up.
And then I don't remember anything else.
All right, just follow me here because this is where it's great. So he says to me, "All right, I think I want to say it was only like 3 pennies. That's all I had to give him. It was something like that, okay?" And then he handed me this.
Whoa! What is this?
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And it says on the back,
it's a backstage pass, right? Yeah.
"This sticker admits one to the exclusive party at the secret location. This was the Roxy in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And Kiss was there." Okay, so they were playing this video up on the screen, so before it ever came out, and we got to go stand in line and go and meet Kiss, all because
they did a couple of those throughout the country, I think, right, Joe?
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't have my original one. This went on sale, and I can't even I know there's a few different Roxys, and I don't remember when they were here in Atlanta, but I bought this off of the KLA stuff and Kiss Live auctions because I had always kicked myself that I didn't still have this pass to a secret location. I don't know if you can see that. To a secret location on the date, and you got to go and meet them. Oh, they had food too, and it was
were they just randomly given to like record stores to give to fans as they bought them, or what was the capacity? And how did you speak to anyone else there? How did they get their pass?
Okay, so I don't remember how many. I know that the Roxy was packed, and I know I was upstairs and had to wait my way through the lines in order to get up there. And I remember meeting. This is my first time ever meeting Gene Simmons, the whole band. The worst part for me was that when I finally made my way up there, Bruce, I think, went to the restroom. I was like, son of a gun. I finally get up here. And I meet Paul and I meet Eric, and then I get to Gene and I looked at him and I said, my mom thinks you're the devil.
Amazing.
And he said, I hear that a lot. It was
Incredible.
awesome. It was awesome. My first time ever. I wish to God I saw, because back then we didn't have our camera phones. It was an actual pictures. I don't have them anymore. I don't know what happened to them. Somewhere somebody, bought maybe a storage unit somewhere, and they're like, "Who's this Joker with Paul Stanley?"
You got pictures with the band, Joe, or just the band themselves?
One each.
Oh, that's great.
As I went down, and I don't know what happened to him. I kicked myself in the bottom, but this was one of the coolest little things. Now let's get back to Confidential. This is the one, okay, and I get this and Extreme Close-Up mixed up because they kind of came out really close together. But correct me if I'm wrong. This is the one where they show them picking girls for the stage and all. This is basically the live concert, correct?
I think so. Right?
Okay.
I haven't seen, we were talking about it. We haven't seen it in a while.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the one. When they're picking girls, okay, and they're making them all line up. This video could never get released today. First of all, no way. And what about, wasn't there a girl who takes the can and she crushes the can in her boobs, and then Bear, the bus driver, is there? And
yes. If we can get Poonie to get to Kiss Cancer Goodbye too, everyone who comes will see Poonie around 2 a.m. crush a can with his boobs. Am I wrong, Poonie?
Dude, I could crush a can. I could crush a bottle. I could crush, basically.
And it's going to be one of those Heineken little keg-looking bastards.
I want to see Joe.
I use it to hold a gallon of ice cream as I'm eating.
I feel so sick right now.
I'm not even going to lie and tell you that is the funniest comment ever made on Podcast Rock City.
I'm photoshopping a picture of that later.
Water. I'm so mad I don't have anything to drink. Unbelievable. Sonny sitting there with ice cream. Just,
yep.
Great.
Oh, God.
No, that's too much for my brain. But there's also, does anybody ever feel Joey Casada, the Crusher? Anybody ever feel that's who it was? The Crusher. That's what they called her. Anybody ever feel bad for the girl that they're standing there and she's bent over in front of them and she's talking about maybe there's hair on her bottom. It's a light blonde. and then Gene's rubbing it and Paul goes,
Poonie and I were just speaking of that. We don't remember it that well, Joe. You obviously remember it very well.
Very well.
I don't know, man. There's just thongs involved, and I got issues, and it's I love a thong. There's also a funny one where the girls are all standing up against the wall, and they got their hands there, and it's thong, and then Paul runs over and does the same thing. It's a funny video. The girls are flirting with Eric Singer, and he's so uncomfortable. And he's you're going to get me. You guys got to all watch it. I wish we could have a watch party without getting sued. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Maybe next week. Well, we could figure it out. We could do it. We could definitely do an audio watch party, and we might be able to get away with it.
Until the music's played. Flip it backwards, slow it down a little bit. We'll figure it out. Anyway, all right. So all in all, let's talk about this. Joey, how do you rate this album? 1 to 5 stars.
I mean, I'm gonna if it's in correlation with the other ones, I give Kiss Alive 2 5. Mm-hmm. I give Kiss Alive 1 4.5 because Kiss Alive 2 is my favorite record of all time. I'm gonna give this a solid 4. It's behind those just because it It didn't have the impact for me because I didn't grow up with it. It came out later, so it didn't have the impact that Alive 2 had, especially for me. But God, it's such a great record. I always say to myself, as great as it is, and me as a Kiss fan, of course, loves the record. And I love hearing, Watching You, and I love hearing the old tracks. Does anyone think it would have been better? Not better sales-wise, of course it wouldn't have been. But for us Kiss fans looking back on it, because this year's the 30th anniversary, right?
Right.
Looking back on it 30 years ago, would we love it more if it was completely unique like Alive 2 was to Alive 1? All different songs from the Dynasty on. Would we like it more, you think?
I think that they throw in the makeup stuff to attract the makeup fans that aren't into.
No, I know why they did it. Of course,
Right.
They had to put Rock and Roll All Night in. They had to put Detroit Rock City in, and so on and so forth. They had to reduce. I get it, but looking back as Kiss fanatics, right? Would we love this record more if it was from Dynasty on, and we got some more rare tracks from songs we really never heard before?
I think that would have made it fun. Absolutely. I don't know that I would have enjoyed. One of the things that I really like about it is I get to hear Bruce Kulick's interpretation of how these songs should go.
Yeah.
Or even Eric Singer's. Paul and Gene, pretty much the same, but you're hearing a unique version of a Peter Criss song that's drum wise, or an Ace Frehley song that's guitar wise, I like that. I'm glad they didn't put like Shock Me or something on here. You know what I mean? But the songs that they picked are great. I think, but to answer your question, they should have done it from Dynasty on.
What do you think, Pooney?
I'm fine with it the way it is. I think if it was Dynasty on, I'd be fine with it too. I give this album a solid 4 stars. 2 reasons that I don't give it a 5. One is it ends with a thud. I love Bruce, and the Star Spangled Banner thing is great, but I can't stand that God gave rock and roll to you bullshit. And to end it with a Star Spangled Banner at a Kiss show is just weird, right? So it ends with a thud for me. And then there's not as much Paul banter. I want Animal Live Uncensored type Paul banter in this, because it is still early 90s.
Right.
And he still has got a foul mouth. There's no doubt about that. And I think that would have been better. But did you notice, like, at least on Spotify, and I don't think it's on my CD either, they don't get announced.
No, it goes right into Creatures.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is odd.
Yes, it's the only. I think that was the first time that it's just. Yeah, right in. No, you wanted the best, you got the best. I've been listening to the Millennium concert because I just did a show on the 20-minute Kiss Fix about it, and it's right into all. You wanted the best, you got the best. You hear all that. It's very odd to have that not at the beginning of the show.
No, and I watched, and I saw the Revenge tour 3 times. I don't remember. Was it actually not part of the tour as well? Does anyone remember if it was actually off the tour, or did they just edit it out for the record just to hit right with Creatures? I don't remember. Brad said Hits tour was the same, no announcement.
God, I don't remember that.
Well, Hot in the Shade, they come out of the Sphinx with the lasers, so maybe he's right. I kind of remember just the drone, right?
Oh, Andrew says no intro from 90 to 96. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why I never noticed that.
Andrew,
Well,
while I know I have you, you goofy idiot, put together a live video compilation of Revenge Era Live 3 stuff. I need to watch it to learn. All right,
Yes.
back to our
Yes.
back to our business.
Okay.
No, but Paul sounds great in it, and Bruce is absolutely killing it. I mean, if you were just to hear this a somewhat live CD, depending on who you believe, and you didn't know anything about Kiss, there's no way you don't say this is an awesome band.
Oh my God.
There's no way. They are so good right here. Right? And I'm with Neil. I think they had to be good because there's too much competition in the 80s. I don't really like a bunch of 70s music, so to me, the makeup took them out of the competition. They were their own thing. You take the makeup off, now you are competing with people on the Hot 100. And, dude, there is a lot of competition between 85 and about 92.
But
Yeah.
it's a different good. So again, when people say, "Oh my God, they were on fire here more than ever," it's a different on fire. They were technically perfect during these years. They were so tight and technically proficient. Where if you listen to a live one or watch some of those Alive One clip videos, they are absolutely on fire in a different way. Go watch Midnight Special. They're unfucking touchable how good they are, energy-wise, tightness-wise, for the style they're playing. It's completely different. But, Sonny, you're right. During these years, because of the proficiency of musicians in the 80s, it was tighter than ever. Incredible. Bruce is absolutely incredible during these years.
Absolutely.
And this is what happens on the Monsters of Rock cruises. I've never seen Firehouse as good as I've ever seen them until I saw them on the Monsters of Rock cruise, because you get the European bands there and some of these American bands that I'm not saying Firehouse ever phones it in, don't get me wrong, but there's some American bands that sometimes phone it in. They go to one of these European shows and something happens to them. And if they're later in the cruise for their show, they bring it.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, this was a lot of fun. Joey, we've got just 2 months. We're all super excited about your upcoming opportunities to play with not only your friends, but your heroes. That is awesome. And you guys out there, remember what Joey said. He said that Neil is always, and I said this on the show on the 20-minute Kiss Fix the other day, Neil is always adding and adding and adding and adding to things until right before it opened the doors. So stay here. It's the place to be every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We've obviously gone over because we wanted to make sure that we talked about Alive 3 with you guys, and we wanted to make sure that you guys got all this new information. I really think it would be great if we got to see you guys down there. I do not believe that Sonny will be able to make it because it's right in the middle of
Booney.
It's peak season.
We're going to talk.
Right, Sonny?
No, my niece is getting married.
Oh, that's right. Niece is getting married.
That actual weekend, Sonny?
That actual weekend.
Can't you move it?
No, she can't move.
Hey, honey, can you move it?
Does she want to get married during the Alive 3 set?
No, she doesn't.
No?
I do.
Now,
I do.
if this was Maiden, her husband-to-be is a huge Maiden fan. If this was Maiden, they would move the date.
I don't know if anyone heard that. Joe, Karen, if you're watching, we might have just found a way for Joe to officially do the deed. You come down to Kiss Cancer Goodbye, Joe and Karen on stage getting married.
He did the deed all right for those 3 cents to get that stupid pass. We don't know what the hell he did.
I make fun of myself way too much. All right, so that was great. Had a lot of fun. All you guys watching, you're amazing. Special thanks to Bruno. First time ever producing the show. You did awesome. I'm so happy. I mean, I sat with you online and taught you how to do things, and first time ever, you knocked it out. All you guys that are watching live, all you guys that are listening, podcast Rock City 1.
That's the number 1.
At gmail.com is where you can email me. And I know you know because I'm getting emails even at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I read them because my stupid phone dings. So I pick it up and I read it, and then I send an email back because you guys are awesome. Sonny, do you have anything to add?
No, thanks for listening. And I think what it is with Neil, he's not happy unless everything's on edge. Right? So you get something wired, and it's like, I still got a month left. How can I take myself to the edge?
You're 100% right. And he's never satisfied. He wants to push everything to the limits. He obviously is working very hard. You hear him. He's frantic. He is going to be insane for the next 2 months, trying to give more and more and more and driving himself crazy at the same time.
Awesome. Joey, do you have anything to add? You dropped a new show.
I didn't have time to film a new episode of Top 5 with Joey Casada this week, but I did post some great clip from my audio book about the story of when I bought my first Kiss album
record
with my own money and leading into a couple other albums that I bought. So that's a fun little story. But I would like to send a little message out to Bruno. So I don't know Bruno. I've never heard this person before. But Bruno, if you're in charge of producing this show, we got to have a little talk. We need my name at the top, Pooney's at the bottom. We got to do something with Pooney's face in the actual show. We need a lot of help here. And I could use a little shadowing on the nose. If you could do whatever you got, bring it my way.
Okay.
Bruno, he doesn't know I sourced you and gave you the job. None of that's happened.
No.
Yeah. So, all right. So you guys know what I'm going to say. All right. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. I wanted to mention that I try my best to read every one of your comments that you're posting on YouTube. I do appreciate them. It means so much to me. It helps my week go by. I get the little ding, the notification. I look at it. I read it. I check it out. I try to give you at least a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Keep listening. Don't forget Wednesday night, 10 p.m., right after Chris Jericho and AEW go off the air. I come down here and do 20 minutes of Kiss Talk with you guys, and tons of you guys are showing up. It's so much fun. And then Friday, I do it again right after Jey Uso quits the WWE live on television. That was pretty freaky, and we had a great time doing it. And you come and join us. It's one of those things that gives you a little something in the middle and at the end of the week until you get to Podcast Rock City. You know what I'm gonna say. We love Kiss and we love Kiss podcasts, and you're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love right after this in 3, 2, 1, peace.